She's not
Is it
around
Alicia
anymore.
still? No?
She's not around anymore.
Oh,
Who's not
that
around
sucks.
anymore?
Thing's girl toy.
Alicia Masters.
She's every now and again.
Yeah. Not in a while, though.
Well, she
When she
she
comes
ended
back,
up
is she
with
gonna
the
be
Human
white again?
Torch, I mean.
But that was a scroll in disguise.
Oh, yeah. It's hard to keep track of these things.
Sorry, we're not reviewing Burt Wonderstone.
It's
We're reviewing
that
comic books
good.
and
Yeah.
penises. So.
It's that fucking good.
awesome.
They
That-
cannot possibly ruin Burt Wonderstone, so we're just
Yeah.
gonna talk about other shit.
We're just, no
spoilers.
spoilers, nothing this week. You're just gonna have to go watch the. I can't say that.
No. Not with a straight face and a good conscience.
It's got incredible in the title, you guys. It's gotta be good. Our movie's called The Call. It had a call in it.
It was very
You know what the
literal.
most incredible thing about this movie is they got Alan Arkin to be in it. That's the most incredible
How
thing.
was Alan Arkin in it?
Alan
Awesome.
Arkin's
He was good.
Alan Arkin.
It's
Yeah.
a national treasure.
Yeah.
You know what's weird is I found that most of the people who weren't starring cast members in this were actually pretty
Pretty good,
good.
yeah.
Like Jay Moore is in this
Nice.
as a.
Is Pete Dragon?
I wish. No, he's a failed
Comic
comic
magician?
magician.
Yeah.
Rick the Implausible. But
Yeah.
his stammering can't tell jokes ass is just it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Like his parts are really good. That's it. That's the pros section of this. Now for the cons, I guess.
Well, Olivia
Well, give us
Wilde's
a
hot
plot
as
breakdown,
always.
boys.
Well, no, we're skipping right to the finer point.
So now we know why people become magicians. Because no one likes them. No, seriously. He spends his childhood getting beat up by kids and then becomes a magician so people will like him.
Where they're like Siegfried and Roy or something, right?
Okay,
That's why
kinda,
Nick
sorta.
learned card tricks.
Well,
Then he started showing people his third testicle, and then he didn't need the card tricks.
No,
so
And he stopped doing that when I flicked him in his junk that one night.
But yeah, then they meet in grade school, and then he shows him the first magic trick, and he goes, "Oh, can I be your partner?" And then flash forward later, and then you get the gig at Bally's, and then you flash forward even further from that, and they are two just burnt out magicians. They really can't stand to be around each other. They're doing this act as mechanical. They do the same thing over and over.
Him and Steve
again.
Buscemi.
Him and Steve Buscemi. Anton Marvelton.
Anton Marvelton.
Anton Marvelton.
Burt Wonderstone and Anton Marvelton.
Which are actually
Good names.
Yeah.
Which are actually plays on their
Chest
actual
Rockwell.
names.
Yeah.
Their actual names are. They just changed a little, like a syllable here or there, and
Bart and Anthony.
it's Albert. Some Jew name, I don't know. Wait, that's
It
not even a joke. It's an actual
preposterous name I've ever
Yeah.
heard.
It's like Charlton Heston Moses named this kid. That's how Jewish it was.
so not very Jewish at all.
His name's like Albert Winselstein or
Yes.
something.
Yes.
But they keep saying it at the beginning, like before you know that he'll be Burt Wonderstone. They keep saying his last name a lot. Like in the first 5 minutes, they probably say his last name about 10 times.
Yeah.
They want you to beat it home that he is a
He's like, oh, now we see
Home
where
Alone Jew.
where
is
like
what it is, yeah.
Wonderstone is gonna come from. Gotcha.
Now it all makes sense.
Exactly.
I mean, they could have. I mean, once or twice.
Uh-huh.
But
That's all. You
So
need
it's
to know.
like that trailer for 21 and Over
Yes.
with Jeff Chang.
Jeff Chang.
Jeff Chang. Jeff Chang.
In the first 15 fucking minutes, it's like, Jesus, guys, are you even? I don't even have to try. I'm just like, throw me the softball. I'm just gonna knock it fucking out of the park with that. That's ridiculous.
although I think it was the last like minute and a half of the movie before we found out that his first name was actually Albert.
Right. Yeah.
And this is the entire plot of the movie.
I mean, they say his name more
so
times. Wait.
Do magic.
They say his name more times than they name names in fucking Schindler's List. That's how many fucking times they say his fucking name.
But okay, so
Well, it's a short list.
the actual plot of this movie is that they're this failed comedy, or not a comedy act, magicians, that their audience is just dwindling every night because of the emergence of a new street performer.
Yeah.
Who's
Fucking Stephen Gray.
Stephen
Jim
Gray.
Carrey.
He's like
Who
the
basically just mutilates himself.
He's basically a cross between like Chris Angel and David Blaine.
oh okay.
And here's where this movie, I thought it was really kind of odd, because from here on out, that's what it is like new magic versus old school magic. And like, him, Steve Carell basically going down to like nothing and building his way back up and finding out what the true meaning of magic is again and all this bullshit. But here's the thing for me. This movie seems like it would have been much better placed 10 years ago.
I was actually just thinking that.
Like this
Yeah.
movie, the whole time I was watching it, I just kept thinking to myself, like, this is a movie that would have done really well when, I don't know, David Blaine was still doing shit, or when Chris Angel still had a fucking TV show.
Or as the lighthearted counterpoint to The Illusionist. Or something.
Yeah.
Seriously,
The
no,
Prestige
and The Prestige.
yeah.
They came out exact same time. If this would have
Yeah,
come out,
this would have played really well as sort of like, the anti...
I think that
back before Steve Carell became such a big deal, and then thought him too high.
I
to
read
himself.
something about, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I read, because this is from the same guys who, or maybe it's one guy, who wrote Horrible Bosses, and when that did so well, it seems like they picked up another script of theirs, which was this, which very possibly could have been written when all of that was kind of big.
Well, I know that watching the thing, it looks like the script for it was at least co-written by John Francis Daly from Freaks and Geeks and Bones and stuff. Which I like him. Mm-hmm. He has like a 5-second cameo in the film.
Did this look like something that was maybe originally an R?
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, they didn't tone it down. No.
They could have toned it up. Like, honestly, like, I kept waiting for it, because the thing with Steve Carell and Steve Buscemi is that Burt and Anton, their show is Burt and Anton, a magical friendship. And they keep talking about, like, like, oh, yes, we've been magical friends since we were kids, and, oh, we didn't have normal childhoods and all this stuff. I'm like, all right,
out the homo
get
vibe.
to the gay jokes. But they didn't do any, so it was just...
They just really good friends.
It was just really
who give each other
odd.
hand jobs out the back.
Like, no, like,
But they don't show the hand jobs, so
So it is cut down from an R.
But yeah, so I don't know, like, it kept almost like skidding around some like homoeroticism with all that. But since it never actually went there, you're just sitting there like thinking to yourself like, all right, here come the gay jokes. And it never happened. There never were any. So then it just feels like, and I know they're fucking cheap shots, but I mean, it's not even a swing and a miss. It's just watching the ball go by.
right, just kind of go, maybe I'll get the next.
So are you pissed that there weren't bad gay jokes?
Well, it would have been fucking something, because during all that part, it's just like honestly, like the first probably half hour at least of this is really fucking boring.
Yeah.
Like literally nothing especially memorable happens. Like I said, like there's like their little montage of them through the years, but
Getting bigger. Yeah.
it's a really quick montage. It jumps from them being like 10 years old to them being like 35 in the 80s.
Yeah.
Well, that's not even like...
No, because he was a kid in 82.
He was a kid in 82, so
Somehow
when the
Steve
hell...
Carell's
When the hell was he doing fucking, doing like Johnny Carson with like the terrible mullet and all that shit? When did that happen?
Wait a minute.
When
When did Johnny...
92.
Yeah, there's no fucking way that would have worked.
20.
Magic, Irving. Magic.
And they did dick all to make him look any younger.
But
No,
the
he
thing
was Steve Carell nowadays, just with a fucking like achy breaky heart mullet going on.
Yeah.
Do they have accents like Siegfried and Roy?
No.
Or
Well,
okay.
Not, I mean, he does the magician voice.
talks
Be
really
amazed and
Yeah.
and I'm full of myself.
But
That's
but it's a lot of really weird humor that doesn't hit. Is like whenever his show goes under and they basically have to kick him out of the hotel he's been staying in for like 10 plus years, he apparently doesn't know how the fucking world works anymore. It's like
Howard Hughes level shut in, where he gets room service for all of his meals.
Yeah, he calls up Olivia Wilde on the phone. It's like, I haven't eaten in 24 hours. No, did you know room service doesn't deliver outside the hotel? I'm like, that's not even a thing that would ever occur to someone.
Now, the way
you worked at a hotel. Did that ever happen? Somebody across the street at the Hilton called your hotel to bring him over, because you guys' burger was better than the one at the Hilton. So I can kind of.
I mean, no, they were really good burgers. But no, they would just walk across the street, because why would any place fucking deliver room service to someone that's not there?
Because they're an exceptionally great hotel.
Or like he goes.
They do that for hookers, don't they? So
they deliver anywhere.
Yeah,
hookers and room service are not the same thing.
Yes, they are. They both come with dessert.
They both make me come, so it works.
It was a really good burger. It did make me come quite a bit.
Fuck.
After a while, I just stopped ordering it with mayonnaise.
Just waiting for the mayo joke.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I don't disappoint.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, so it's just, I don't know, it's a lot of really peculiar, like, scenarios. Like, honestly, this movie, the script to it seemed like it would have worked really well as, like, a sitcom on, like, CBS or some shit. Like, that's what I kept waiting for a fucking laugh track to tell me when it was funny and when it wasn't. And just, like I said, like, the preposterous things, like, he's crashing at, like, Olivia Wilde's place, and, he's complaining about the food being terrible, even though she made, like, some, like, gourmet-looking shit.
Tilapia and squash, or...
Squale.
Squale. I don't know what the quail.
It is squale season.
Squale.
But then he's like...
Fuck off, I was thinking about a cheeseburger.
Talking shit. He's talking shit on the food, and then he's like, oh, no, here, I'll take care of this. Grabs the plates, and then walks outside her apartment, sets them on the ground. He's like, andale, rapido! And then goes back inside. Like... Like, this is some fucking 2.5 Men shit.
It would be great if there was, like, one joke in it that, like, had a laugh track. Just like, well, like, midway through the movie, all of a sudden, laugh track. You'd be sitting there in the audience like, fuck was that? Was that a laugh track? Did you hear that?
But no, that's the thing is, we had a laugh track.
Yeah.
Because
the two fucking guys behind us.
It was us, maybe half a dozen or more people in the place. And then the fucking back row of the auditorium was like 2 or 3 guys who thought this movie was the fucking funniest thing ever.
Like here we are, like, they're... I'm just
And
like...
we're just like looking at each other like, the fuck joke did we miss? Like, am I king asshole here? Did I miss something?
Am I that much of an asshole that I don't like this movie as much as they do? I mean,
So we had a lot of similarities between the two movies, and our audience loved the shit out of our movie. And we had, you guys had Gandolfini, we had Imperioli, you guys had Steve Carell, we had Abigail Breslin.
it's like Little Miss Sunshine and Sopranos night.
Yeah, fucking
There is one thing that's kind of bugging me with Steve Carell's career. Is that, and I mean, he's a good-looking guy, and he's keeping himself in shape. I mean, he's definitely not, you know, seeing him in other movies, he's definitely not Michael Scott. Well, I mean, that's when he fucking practically was.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure what the fuck the trend is with him in movies ending up getting the impossibly hot half his age girls.
Well, that's very much the Groucho Marx, Woody Allen trope of comic lead like that ending up with...
Like, in
Exactly.
Going the Milton Berle route.
Yeah, he's Milton fucking Berle.
like
No,
like
because then he'd slap him first.
Yeah, after he bombs on Saturday Night Live.
Fucking shit.
but like it made sense in Seeking a Friend for the End of the World because it was situation based and it fit for that type of movie. This here, it just felt like either they went too young with Olivia Wilde or they went too old with Steve Carell. Like, it didn't line up in any possible way. Like, he's a complete shitbag to her the entire time. And then when it's finally like, all right, we can work together, and it's like, yay, let's do this. And then it's like, oh, they're a couple now.
Yeah, Lee literally says 2 nice things to her and she fawns. I mean, but, okay. She did set it up, though, where she's like, I was there at the beginning. She fell in love with him, I think, as the magician before. She was just waiting for something to maybe rekindle that.
So when she was like a fucking infant or
Pretty
something?
much.
Yeah, she
was 4.
saw a show of his when he was doing stuff and she was a kid, and it changed her life. She's got to get into magic, and was following Burt Wonderstone's career.
Yeah. She was 4 and had her first orgasmic experience.
Jeez, this story sounds really graphic.
You get it.
God damn, pedophile Steve Carell.
Right?
But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just...
Is he very... Because I like Steve Carell.
He's very orange.
Yeah.
He looks like he's
Yeah.
made out of hot dog skin.
Jesus.
So he's delicious.
He crackles a little bit in the
Yeah.
microwave.
Go to Japan, you can find him in a
You know what
stuffed
it
crust
reminds
pizza.
me of? It reminds me of the Evan Almighty route that he takes. He's up here,
Yeah.
he's that jerk, he has that huge downfall, and then he comes back up and is a better person. That seems like Steve Carell's movie arc, is like he's going to start out just completely unlikable, he's going to have a huge fall, and then somehow...
Mine's always, and I do like Steve. I like Steve Carell a lot, but I am, and tell me if this movie's like this, I am a little tired of the mopey Steve Carell character. Whether it's Dan in real life,
moments,
whether it's...
Yeah,
low points.
I was gonna say it's definitely not Dan in real life, but like there's a few moments where like he does look very dejected, but he's playing this insanely larger than life character that doesn't exist in the same world as everyone else in this movie. So him getting down on himself is like, oh shit, he's in the same situation fucking all of us are in.
He just doesn't know how to deal
How
with
fucking terrible that must be.
How is... Because I thought his scenes were kind of funny in the trailer. How was Jim Carrey?
He's just insane.
Is he in a lot of it?
He kind of just keeps popping in and out of the movie. And just like mostly they're just like, it's like, oh, you guys are doing this, your act is all shit. Here, let me show you what this guy's doing. Turns on the TV and it's
Holding his piss.
He's what?
Holding his piss.
He's holding his piss?
For like 12, what did it say, 12 days?
Yeah.
That's magic.
That's magic.
Doing like stupid shit
couldn't
like
do it.
that. Like to get Alan Arkin back into wanting to do magic and stuff like this. Steve Carell takes him to one of Jim Carrey's magic performances where he's dressed like a piñata and he's eating like 50 pounds of hard candy and he's having people like beat him with a baseball bat till he
Just to
throws
vomit
up
it up.
hard candy.
That's kind of funny.
No, see that's the thing. That sounds like it could be interesting, but then when you actually see it executed, it's just one of the longest fucking scenes. And it's only like a minute long scene.
And it's like, the Jim Carrey parts were just there to progress the Jim Carrey character. Like, it wasn't like, he was never in direct competition with Burt Wonderstone until the very end.
Yeah, they
ran parallel. They ran.
Really? Yeah, the
parallel.
trailer made it look like they're like competing with each other throughout the whole movie or something.
No, far from it.
I
Actually,
think they're actually together in 3 scenes, maybe.
Yeah, and like one of them, they're like, I don't know, like Jim Carrey's character is trying to upstage him at like a kid's birthday party, which is like, I mean, it's not even that long of a scene, but yeah, they yeah, about the most direct rivalry they have is they're both competing for some like spot as like the next top performer at a new casino. But it's not like it's just between the two of them having like a fucking magic off or something like that. No, it's like a fucking like open like casting call for anyone who wants to like do a performance of any kind. Right? So, yeah, like I said, it's not even like they were actually competing with each other.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know. It's just a really odd movie. His character that going along with the whole Chris Angel mind freak thing.
Yeah.
He's Stephen Gray, brain rapist.
Yeah, brain rapist. Yeah, that was.
So like every time it's showing like an episode of his TV show in the corner, it just has like #rapist.
There's no.
That's pretty funny.
That little in the corner of the screen joke, much better than what's actually happening.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It, like I say, this movie, it seems like it would have been much better suited as just a weird pilot for a TV series. And even then, it wouldn't have been a great TV series. But yeah, I mean, it honestly, there's no reason this wasn't like a 3-wall fucking sitcom.
Yeah.
How is Gandolfini?
He doesn't do the Jersey accent, so it's actually really fucking weird at this point.
He didn't do that in Zero Dark 30 either. He was really miscast as Bin Laden.
He's the sleazy Vegas casino owner. Mm-hmm. And he just, if things are going good on you, and then as soon as shit gets bad for them, he's like, nope, see ya. So, it's his son's birthday that he ends up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for $500. That's how far he falls. He's got to do magic shows for his original boss's kid.
Does this even have a villain? Is Jim Carrey like the villain?
Not
really. Like honestly, like what would you say the bad guy is for Steve Carell? His own hubris.
Time, yeah.
The fact that he got kind of shitty at what he does. I mean, that's honestly the biggest villain in the fucking thing is
ego.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But even then, you're supposed to sympathize with him, so you can't even really like, oh, he's just being crazy. Steve Carell, he's just doing stuff. So, it's a story that doesn't have an antagonist.
And, it didn't have any prospective slaves for Brian, so there wasn't anything he could do about it.
Well, so
that was just another,
it's
bad mark
actually,
on it.
I kind of noticed as we were talking about it once we got out here.
Steve Carell's the darkest person in that movie.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
No, he is.
His fucking hot dog skin. There are no people of color. I don't even think they caught any, like, extras that were, like, black, Chinese, fucking Puerto Rican. Nobody. Everyone in this movie is, like,
there's the one guy at the very end of the fucking movie when they do their grand illusion.
The Chinese guy.
The Chinese guy, he wakes up and then he tells him to go back to sleep, shuts the... Because the last grand trick is they make the audience disappear.
Yeah.
And reappear in a field outside of Vegas.
Yeah.
Reappear in Antarctica. You're screwed.
The problem is this trick they're doing seems to be what they're trying to build their new career off of. But they're basically
drugging the audience.
Yeah, it's basically they basically got a whole bunch of like
this Cambodian leaf that renders people unconscious when they take it. So they weaponize it essentially.
Yeah, like the fog that always comes up in like magic shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like now for our big trick, and the lights go out as the room fills with smoke, and then everyone wakes up in a fucking field. I'm like, that's date rape.
Well, then it doesn't show you them how they did it until like as it's kind of like the end credit,
that was just weird.
I thought they were doing it again, but no, they were showing how they did it originally.
Like the credits start, and then it's like like cuts to like one extra little scene. Is showing them like
gas masks,
gassing everybody, put on masks, like stagehands, like hoisting people out of the theater.
What?
Then they set them up in the field and they're doing makeup because they bruised people, so they're putting makeup on the bruised people.
I don't know. It was just a really weird little extra scene. It's like I figured they didn't actually learn magic.
Right.
Like, I figured, wow, that would have been a pain in the ass. All these big guys would have had to haul people out of the theater all fucking
And here's my
afternoon.
thing.
That would have taken hours.
Right? How would these people not look at their watch and go, what the fuck just happened? Because they're unconscious for a very long time. Long enough for them to load them in trucks, drive them outside of Vegas, set up the stage, sit them down, put makeup on them, and then sit and wait around for them to wake up.
Oh, but then they had to reverse the trick to get them back to the casino.
So they had to do the same goddamn thing.
So this is a magic...
They drugged them twice.
This is a magic trick that, perceivably took, 8, 9 hours.
It would have been daylight by the time they got done.
Some people in that audience are probably very late for work.
Also, I really hope that stuff they were using isn't, like crazy potent, like they're gonna have like the fucking DTs in a couple days.
Yeah, or carcinogen. They all end up with cancer or something, and they all sue them down the line. And hey, Burt Wonderstone too. Everybody sues from that original trick, so he has to, come back up from again.
Recycle the plot from Ghostbusters 2.
Pretty much.
Well, after the movie was over, it was funny because Brian came out of the theater way before you did. We were like, "What the fuck's Irvin? Did he really like it? Is he staying to the ending credits?" Like, nah, he left actually before we did. He ran off to the bathroom or something. And I'm thinking in my head,
we were really confused. Lenny and I came out, we're like, "Where the fuck is Irving?"
I was thinking in my head, the movie's so bad, he ran to the bathroom to throw up.
Maybe a little bit. It's in my mouth a little bit, so I had to wash it out. So. Actually, that would have been too strong a reaction for this movie. So
really, it's like if you were to watch a newer sitcom, here a while back. What was that one? Whitney.
That's still on.
Is it?
Yeah.
Fuck
That's
me.
exactly what I was thinking.
But I remember that one random night we just happened to watch the fucking pilot to that.
Yeah.
And we took absolutely nothing away from it. Well, okay.
Well, her name's Whitney. Okay.
And that's honestly the feelings I had towards this. It was like watching just kind of a forgettable sitcom. There's not really any substance to it. There's no jokes you really want to take away from it.
Speaking of sitcom, I'm not kidding, they are showing as a Fathom event a couple episodes of The Big Bang Theory.
Fucking
okay.
Really,
I'm
people?
dead serious.
Now, Star Trek: The Next Generation. When they do that, it's fine. Because it's been off the air for 20 fucking years! Big Bang Theory is still on the air! Who gives a fuck?
Wait, yeah, that show's on syndication on 15 different channels.
But I'm gonna pay $15 to go see it in a theater.
That's just fucking weird. No, we didn't get that with ours. We got a preview for the One Direction 3D live concert movie.
Nice. Hang on, let me put a pause in here.
What was it? So we watched that fucking One Direction.
One Direction 3D, which
You're gonna make me go see that, aren't you?
One Direction
Pretty
3D? Well, we were at Katy Perry 3D.
You and your fucking themes.
hey, I'm just glad it's you guys now instead of me and Jared.
Actually, we should reunite the team for One Direction. Who wants Jared to make a comeback for the One Direction review? Jared could just do
Only if there's somebody in the movie with some disability that he'll be completely confused about.
This kid said he had adhead. What the hell's adhead? Who fucking... That's a made-up fucking... No, that's ADHD. What? No, it's not. It's adhead. Who the fuck cares about adhead? It's not real. Something like that.
That'll happen. And then Brian and I could give ourselves the really confused look we did when he fucking did that in the car.
Fucking looking at you over the camera like...
You can see the camera, like, do one of the... Like, because you and I looked at... Because he said that. Neither one of us were...
camera tilts down.
The camera tilts down, because neither one of us knew if he was being serious at first. So we both looked... And the camera does one of these. It does kind of like that, because it's me looking over at Brian going... Is he kidding? What do we do here? Oh my god, he's being serious.
Oh fuck. And yeah, I know, we film these and then edit them and put it up there. It's not like it's fucking live. Right? But that's the panic mode you go into when someone just starts spewing out crazy.
Why did you look at me when you said that?
Well,
I'm surprised you look at me.
You remember the Jules Verne?
Jules Verne.
The look on your face
Jules
is fucking priceless.
I'm just like...
I don't know if I could have handled that moment.
I might have smacked him.
I think they're two people.
I barely did. I was holding on to it.
You could see, I love the moment it's in the Journey to the Center to the Earth 2 video. I love the moment where it clicks, where you realize, because you can tell by the look on your face, when it clicks, like where you figure out that he thinks it's two different people.
It's like, what? I'm just saying, they did a lot of good books together.
And I'm just like...
You look at him like, are you just... Oh my god!
Oh, actually the One Direction video, the trailer, got the best laugh out of us. Because I turned over to them, I said, well, at least they can't blame the United States on this.
No, but we made them famous.
No, we didn't. Fuck it. The Europeans did. One of them's Scottish. I'm afraid. I hate that.
I've never heard anything
well,
from them. I didn't even know they weren't from the
So are
States.
bagpipes and golfing.
Well,
Now
in the trailer,
Scotland's great, man.
I'm ashamed to call myself a Scot after watching that trailer because of those little fuckers. There's one or two of them that are Scots, and I'm just like, back in the day, they would have thrown you off a cliff. They wouldn't even wasted time on you.
So we had that trailer. I don't even fucking remember what else. What did we have?
Did you guys get...
The Heat.
Oh, we got that.
I swear to God. You know what? This is karma. I have to see that fat bitch, Melissa McCarthy, in every fucking trailer because we got Hangover Part 3. And guess what? She's in that too.
Oh yeah, I saw that trailer the other day. Hangover Part 3. I guess at least this one looks like it has a different plot.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look really
John Goodman's in it.
better, but yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like a carbon copy of the last one.
Yeah, so at least there's that.
I'd just watch it just to
Watch us be
finalize
really
it.
fucking wrong, and it actually is just exactly like the fucking other two.
As
But
long
it's
as
advertised
funny-
differently.
As long as it's funny, I don't give a fuck. I mean, you could... If it's funny, I don't care.
I'll just drink while I'm watching this one, too.
Right.
That
Did you
made it
guys
better.
get Kick-Ass 2?
Yeah.
Oh,
We
yeah,
got that
that was
one.
the first one I'd seen that one.
I had saw the Red Band trailer. The Red Band
So did I.
trailer's better. The Red Band trailer is so much better than that green one.
And honestly, like...
Jim Carrey looks great
Yeah,
in
Jim
that.
Carrey
Yeah.
actually looks decent in that one.
That's a dog on your balls.
But no, that one looks pretty good. I mean, well, I'm a big fan of the fucking book, so I mean, I'm
Is it
I'm
like
psyched about that.
The second book?
It
Is
looked
it-
like they
It looks
followed
close.
plots.
Yeah,
I don't think they're gonna go as extreme.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
there's rape, like horrible rape
It looks like
scenes in
they're
it.
following the story, but then taking it, to... I mean, to say this, but more of a comic book level.
I mean,
Tone it down.
but yeah,
Yeah.
they it looks like they're following Kick-Ass 2 about as closely as they followed
Kick-Ass.
Kick-Ass. So I'm excited for it.
It looks
It
like
looks
it's gonna
solid.
be fun, and I really enjoed the first one.
So did I. I love the first
Yeah,
one. I
so
fucking
it'd
love
be-
the first movie.
Just really mad that Mark Strong died in it.
Right? At least we got to see him in the trailer again,
Yeah.
though.
Flying through the air.
before exploding.
These things that happen.
Poor Mark Strong.
What the hell else did we get?
I know we got more fucking trailers. They didn't show 2 fucking trailers.
Well, that was 4. Because we had the One Direction, the
G.I.
Haze.
Joe 2, I've gotten that like the past 8
I haven't
weeks.
seen that one yet, but they're upping the Channing Tatum.
There was a new Gatsby
the Great,
trailer.
which the Baz Luhrmann Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
After watching the trailer, I'm just kind of like, I might actually enjoy that.
If nothing else, that man makes a wonderful spectacle.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's what it
You
looks
know,
like. I
that's-
saw a 3D trailer of that, and while it's kind of preposterous that something like that's in 3D, the 3D was amazing.
It might not be any good at all, but I can guarantee that movie will be pretty as hell.
Yeah.
It's like they're. It's like if they remade Chicago, like if like somebody like fucking like Zack Snyder or somebody remade Chicago.
Yeah.
It's like, no, we're gonna do this with like that fucking like hyper realism, hyper reality.
For some reason, there's a scene in Nam.
as soon as the part
The
that got
war,
me
man,
was
it
when
was
they did, well, they did kind of do that in the trailer, but the part that got me as soon as they. But the Great Gatsby trailer.
Oh yeah, well.
But it's
But
different,
that's not
the
Nam.
same, yeah.
I was gonna say
They
if that was
fucking made
Nam.
it. They made it look like it when he was going over the hill.
Right. But when they started playing
palm
that
trees and shit.
revamped version of So Happy Together, I'm just like,
That was weird.
Yeah,
It
that's
was
a really
weird.
odd soundtrack choice, isn't it?
but it was weird, but it got me. Like I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck is that? That kind of pulled me more to the trailer than I would have thought. So maybe
I just thought it was kind of odd too that it's a standard length trailer, but they probably do like 5 different musical changes in it.
Baz Luhrmann.
Well, yeah, it'll
I mean,
be,
but yeah, like,
He'll
that
do
was
1,000 musical changes in a half hour. You
Yeah.
know?
Well,
I mean,
yeah, but that just seemed weird for the trailer. I don't know, like maybe that's just me.
I gotta see this fucking trailer.
No, it's pretty cool. Well, plus, like it seems like
Good cast.
the casting is fucking really good. Like, I mean, I'll watch about anything with DiCaprio.
Yeah.
right.
Fucking Carey Mulligan is amazing.
Tobey Maguire. Wait, well, okay.
He looks
when
like
Tobey
he's
Maguire's
actually
doing
been-
more serious stuff.
Yeah, he looks like he's actually been working on
Right.
being an actor since
Yeah.
Spider-Man 3.
Well, has he done anything since Spider-Man?
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
brothers.
Which was passable.
Yeah.
Weird, but passable.
I can't remember what else, but
Yeah, he's kind of been off the radar for a bit.
He shot
A homeless man.
that's why he's been gone.
No, I mean he
thought it was Sam Raimi.
He actually he did Life of Pi, but was replaced after they filmed all his scenes.
Wow.
It
Was
wasn't
there-
that he did bad or anything. They just wanted to go with somebody that was less
They
recognizable.
decided to go with the tiger.
Damn it, you beat me to it.
Sorry.
Just him painted up like he's a fucking
they
cat.
decided that him painted
That sounds
brown face
awesome.
would be a little bit too racist and actually cast an Indian kid?
No, that was when they originally cast Fisher Stevens.
Which I'm still convinced he's fucking Indian.
He is. He's just officially Indian now.
When they
Let that
first
Indian
announced
actor,
Life of
Fisher
Pi, and
Stevens.
it's like, it's Tommy Maguire to star in Life of Pi, I was like, oh God, no. Oh God, no.
I can see Tobey Maguire and Brown. I have been on this island for a very long time.
Oh
right?
Jesus Christ. God damn it, Brian.
And it still wins Best Director.
Because it's angry.
This movie's really
Wait,
racist, but god
this-
damn is it well
Fuck
directed.
it.
But Ang Lee, I'm kind of hit and miss with. I mean, Hulk.
I
Fuck
like
you.
Hulk. I'm sorry.
Still stick up for
Those
I
fucking
like
Gamma
Hulk.
Dogs, really?
You know what?
I know that shit was in the comic book.
You know
what?
You know
It
damn
was
well he
weird in
didn't
the
get to
comic.
write that fucking movie.
He just
Well, no,
directed it.
no, and was the Hulk, which was just weird. Was he the tiger in Life of Pi?
Ang Lee.
Yeah.
He was
That was
giant
actually a
building
panther. They just CGI'd to be a tiger. Which was really weird. What's your final thoughts on Burt Wonderstone?
Don't.